On April 9th, 2022, a TikTok account by the name of Andrew Dawson posted a video that would go on to get almost 22 million views. Little did we all know this video would be the beginning of one of the greatest internet mysteries of our time. He posted a video claiming that he saw and got on film a real-life giant. Something that has been rumored to be real by some, even though it's regarded as mythical by most. Things only got weirder from there. After this video went viral, Andrew was being followed by what he and others suspected was the CIA or another government agency. He had uncovered something that clearly the higher powers did not want us to know about. Seemingly overnight, he was being followed, but he didn't give up trying to expose the truth. Until a few months after the initial discovery, Andrew disappeared from the internet altogether. Then a couple months after that, he was gone.
I think everybody is thinking the same thing, right? Like, we're all thinking that he saw something he shouldn't have seen.
How can something like this just disappear and then fucking aliens come up all of a sudden?
A depressed person wouldn't say this.
I don't think anybody even told us, like, his cause of death, like what he actually died of. He was just found not alive.
He even tried to go on a public path and they wouldn't let anyone pass through.
Went missing after catching a giant on film.
You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
Hey humans, it's Hannah. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are deep diving a case that I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while now. It's an internet mystery, it's a TikTok mystery, and it's the case of Andrew Dawson, who found giants and then disappeared.
All of the videos that I posted were scripted. They were just fake. They were just strictly for entertainment.
In this video today, first we are going to take you through the entire story, the entire Andrew Dawson saga, how this all started, and the entire giant story. And I don't mean a large story, I mean the giant story, literally giant, the mythical creatures. Then we're going to discuss if his story is true, as well as his alleged death. And yes, I said death. We're going to analyze all of his footage and we're going to deep dive this together and come to some sort of conclusion as to what really happened here. Before we start today's story, this video has a sponsor, so I'm going to roll to that and I'll be right back with you. This video is sponsored by Aura. Have you ever Googled yourself and found out, to your horror, without you ever remembering putting any of this information out there to anyone, and you find your full name and your address, sometimes your birth date, sometimes other just personal information you don't want front and center on Google? I just did this a few weeks ago, and sure enough, like, my most recent address was just front and center on Google along with my full name. It's so creepy. You can email the websites and request to get them taken down, but you have to do that for every website, and who knows how many websites are up with your information that you didn't even see. Data brokers are making a fortune selling your information. They sell it to the robocallers, they sell it to scammers. Anyone else who is willing to pay up for your info, they'll take it. Aura can identify data brokers exposing your info and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Brokers are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to, but they make it super hard to do. So let Aura handle all that for you. Aura also does so much more for you and your family to protect you from these online threats. It's really easy to set up. You don't have to download several different apps to get things like parental controls, antivirus, VPNs, password management, identity theft insurance, all of that stuff. You get everything at one affordable price. Don't let people continue to exploit and profit off of your personal information. Go to aura.com/HannahTheHorrible right now to start your 2-week free trial. So Andrew first posted on TikTok on July 13th, 2021. I went through and watched all of his TikToks, every single one. And I have to say, you know, pretty average. There wasn't really a solid theme or a niche to his TikTok account like many accounts have. However, this is very common for TikTok. Most of his videos were very short, not even a minute long, usually under 30 seconds long. And it was primarily comedy content. He would pull harmless pranks on strangers.
Can I get a small Pepsi?
We have Coke product.
You only have Coke? Yeah, I'll take a gram of that then.
Yeah.
He posted some jokes about his girlfriend. However, his girlfriend doesn't seem to mind. She seems to be in on it. He posts about his boxer, Rex, who is just the best boy. I absolutely fell in love with Rex watching so many of Andrew's videos. And then just other random comedy content and other sometimes short TikToks of just going along with TikTok trends, lip syncing, things like that. Despite being in his mid-30s, Andrew almost seems childlike. And I mean that in a good way. I don't mean that in a way where he's not responsible or impulsive or anything like that, but just in the sense that you could tell he brought the fun to the party. He was the one that walked in the room and everybody would have a good time after he was there. He was genuinely funny. He was bouncy. He was super happy all the time. And he just seemed to be the type of person that just didn't want anybody around him to be sad. I did not know him personally, but that's kind of what I gathered by watching so much footage of him.
I don't know about you, but I've never seen a baby pigeon.
Andrew had other social media. TikTok was definitely his biggest, and that was because of the video that we're going to talk about today. But he also had a small YouTube channel of about 500 subscribers. Now, I know most people have a lot of different social media, but this is actually pretty important for later. Most of his YouTube channel, and he hadn't posted in a long time, he seemed to veer over to TikTok, but most of his YouTube channel consisted of music videos, not other people's music videos, but his music videos. He seemed to be an aspiring musician. He would sing and do like these amateur music videos where clearly, you know, I mean, like it was definitely like not bad quality at all, but it was very clear that it wasn't some professional setup or crew. So he was clearly passionate about comedy. He was clearly passionate about making music. And then, like I said, he has a girlfriend slash partner slash wife. It's really hard to know. Some people refer to her as his wife. He often refers to her as just his girlfriend, but then other times his wife. So who knows? His partner, and they also had 2 children together. I believe, from what I gathered, one was his biological child and the other was his stepchild. But I feel like, again, knowing what I know about Andrew, he treated them both as if they were just his actual own children. Now, he and his girlfriend and his family live in British Columbia, Canada, where all of these videos are filmed. I'm going to refer to his girlfriend slash wife as his partner. I'm not going to give her name. I'm not going to give her social media and stuff like that. Like the name of their kids and stuff is posted online, and I'm just going to not go there. I'm going to protect their privacy as much as I can. To be fair, I am comfortable making this video because his partner is very active on social media. She posts quite a bit. They both seem to really enjoy doing social media apart and together. They would both post quite a bit. So I am comfortable with it. Like, she's obviously fine with being in the public eye. It's just that I don't want to like call attention to her name or her children's name because I don't want people unnecessarily going to ask her about all of this. I'm sure she gets borderline harassed on a daily basis by everybody on the internet. Every single message just asking about Andrew and stuff. And I cannot imagine that that doesn't get frustrating, especially because we believe he is now gone and I'm sure that doesn't help the grieving process. And she, deserves to not be bothered about this. So whatever you take away from this video, if you do go find her, like her videos, enjoy her content, but do not DM her about Andrew. Do not comment about Andrew. Just, you know, I trust you guys. I know that 99.999% of my audience are really good people and will not. Okay, so that was kind of the background on Andrew. Now we're going to get into this whole giant saga. This is the first giant video, and I'm going to just walk you through each video. So TikTok 1 was posted on April 9th, 2022. Andrew posts the following 36-second video on his account.
What is it?
It's a person, dude. No, seriously, pull over, pull over.
No.
There's a person standing there. No, it's not. Dude, if you seen what I've seen right now.
So as you heard in the video, he and his friend are having like kind of a friendly banter / argument, but it's obviously not heated, about whether this is a real living being or not up on this mountain. His friend does not seem to think so. He's like, that is not a person, dude. But Andrew insists that it looks like a person. If this wasn't obvious, the reason he came to the conclusion that it was a giant was because from the distance he was at, a normal person, you would barely even see them on the top of the mountain. If you did, they would be a tiny microscopic dot. And the proportion of this was very clear that whatever this was very large and not human size. Now, giants are things of folklore. They are things that are accepted by most of us to not be real. And I know that people that are very, very large exist, but that's not what I'm talking about here. For example, I'm not talking about Andre the Giant. He was 7'4" and weighed upwards of 520 pounds. May he rest in peace, but he was definitely giant man, but he was not this mythical creature giant. We are not talking about that. We're talking about the mythical creature giants that are often portrayed as dozens of feet tall, sometimes hundreds of feet tall. Now, I think this is just important because in general, social media, especially TikTok, has renewed our generation's interest in mythical creatures, I think. I think there's a lot of videos on both TikTok and YouTube of people alleging that they either heard signs of a skinwalker or the rake, or seeing some weird creature cross their path that doesn't seem to be of this world. And I think along with that is why this story really took off, because this was very seemingly convincing proof of a giant, or at least something that was not human. And with video equipment literally in all of our pockets, people who see something strange out and about can very easily get it on film. And I think this one was also very obviously not edited. And I think that really captured everybody's attention. I think a lot of the rake videos and stuff like that are very clearly either people in costumes or they are edited. So Andrew posts this video on TikTok and it goes absolutely massively viral and racks up millions of views very quickly. People are freaking out, of course. As of filming, this video has amassed over 21 million views, 120,000 saves, and 1.2 million likes. Quite unfortunately, all the comment sections on Andrew's videos have been turned off. I don't know why, but every single video he turned off comments for his entire TikTok channel. So I can't get a whole lot out of the comments on these. But I digress. Every video after this giant video was posted got at least 7 million views. Every single thing he posted from then on got at least 7 million views, if not more. People were clearly interested in this and were watching his every move. This seemed like very convincing evidence. Okay, the second TikTok was posted on April 11th, 2022, 2 days later.
Do you see how far away it is? How far I have to zoom? Do you know how hard it is to keep a steady hand? If this video blows up, or somebody buys me a friggin' helicopter to get all the way up there.
Clearly, Andrew had gotten a lot of feedback when the comments were turned on about how shaky the camera was. The third TikTok in the giant saga was posted on the same day. He posts a video of himself. Notice that he is in selfie view. He's filming himself. Note that for later.
So the video is blowing up. A lot of you say I have Parkinson's, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to try to go closer and find a better angle. Yeah. Or somebody can rent me a helicopter and I'll try to find it. Or maybe blow the videos up and maybe I can get sponsored. A helicopter company can sponsor me to go up there. I don't know. But I'll try to hold the camera better. Okay? You try to hold the camera on the zoom like that.
So he's explaining that since the video has gone viral, he's not going to stop. He's going to go try to get a better look and get better proof. So this next video is posted the next day on April 12th.
We are on our way. We're gonna go find somewhere closer, and I'm gonna set my camera on something so you guys aren't complaining how shaky it is in the truck. Because, yeah, internet has no chill. But that's the mountain we're going to. But we're just gonna try to get closer.
So then he posts again later that same day, and he zooms in on the mountain to show us that the giant is now gone.
Okay, I'm gonna use this as a tripod to try to keep it steady for you guys. And it's not even there anymore, too. That's where it was yesterday. I spoke to some locals and it comes and goes apparently, I don't know. See, that's me trying to keep it super steady with something to... There we go. Do you know how hard it is to keep it steady with zoomed in all the way?
This made it extremely compelling for people. This proved to a lot of people that this was real and that there was a giant up there. Because if this was a hoax or if it was not a person or living being, then the thing would still be there, right? It would make sense that if it was a being, it wouldn't just stand there for eternity. It would move. He also explains that a local he talked to told him that they see it too every now and then, but it comes and goes. He posts yet another TikTok that same day, and this time he's home again and posts this update.
I just got stopped by like some CIA agent. He told me to turn around, said I'm trespassing. I said it's a public area, like a public park or whatever. Some local told me to take this path. I didn't get it on camera, but I'm going to go again tomorrow and be prepared to be filming right now because he stopped the vehicle. His truck was blocking it. Said some like environmental issue was going on. I don't know. He told me to go back and said I was trespassing. I don't get it. It was awkward, but I'm going back again tomorrow to see if he's not there. But if he is there, I will keep camera. I will film because the only angle I could get that I found today is the one I just posted earlier, and there wasn't even anything there. But I don't understand why the road's blocked off. I don't know.
This is where the entire saga kind of takes a turn and gets very strange. Now there seems to be some sort of government agents or officials, some sort of authority figure hanging around the area, conveniently right after his video went viral. So we have to fill in the blanks ourselves about this part of the story. However, to me, this implies that since his video went viral, some sort of government agency was watching and saw that the video went viral, and there was in fact something in that area that they don't want the locals or the average person to see. So right after the video goes viral, they start to go into the area, start to monitor stuff, start to stop people from getting any closer. So now we skip to the next day, April 13th.
All right, I woke up extra early today. Actually, we're gonna go on an adventure. It's currently 5:30 in the morning. I'm gonna see if he's there early in the morning and see if I can get up a little bit. Look at all these mountains I got. They are everywhere around here too. That's the one. All right, let's go.
Because the road was closed for him to get a better look the day before, Andrew thinks that he's pretty clever and gets up at 5:30 in the morning when it's still dark out, or at least partially dark. And this way he can go and see if maybe there's nobody there and he can get a little closer. Later that same day, he posts this video. Okay, so I'm going to stop the story here for just a second to say that I'm just going to debunk this one right off the bat. I don't think that this is alien spaceship. I don't think it has anything to do with this at all. I think it's just a strange cloud that's reflecting off the sunlight. The sun was rising, like he was there right at sunrise. So I think the light from the sun was just reflecting off this weird lone cloud. That thing doesn't even look like a solid object to me, so I really don't think it was a UFO. Okay, so he posts yet again that same day, and this time he posts this.
So they're extracting something out of here. There's 2 helicopters. What the fuck?
As you saw, there's now helicopters around the mountains, and they seem to be extracting something, is the word he used. They seem to be removing something from the mountain, which he also, and the audience agrees, is very suspicious. It just seems like weird timing, right? Like right after he discovers something that he believes is a giant, posts it on social media and goes massively viral, and now everyone's suspicious. Right after that happens, now suddenly there's helicopters in the area. And he posts one more time on this day. It's much later, it seems, because it's dark out. This is where the story takes yet another very dark turn.
The guy's here again. Yeah, this is him. What's going on?
Road's closed. Turn around.
Really?
Yeah, man. Just turn around, please.
Okay. Have a good night, man. So that was fucked up. Here he is. I'm driving past him again. Just turned around. I don't understand why it's closed off though. It's a fucking public park or public road or whatever.
Again, side note, does anybody else get extreme anxiety watching other people do this? Who approaches an officer of the law or some sort of official if they didn't need anything? Like, why would you just approach them willingly? Like, if the road was closed, I'd be like, oh, okay, the road was closed. I get so much secondhand anxiety just by watching him do this and just willingly go up to this road closure and talk to the person that closed the road. Ugh, I get wiggly just thinking about that. Anyway, the plot thickens, right? It seems, again, at least to me, that he's trying to take this public road up to the mountain so he can get a closer look of the mountain to see if he can get any more evidence of these giants. But now the road is closed, and now there are government officials seemingly swarming the area. It's like they know because the video went viral and people are going to know where this area is, that a lot of people are going to come poking around, and they don't want that. His next video isn't until 3 days later on April 16th. He then posts a clip that shows seemingly proof of him being followed by what he believes to be the CIA. And it looks like the same vehicle that he stopped to chat with when the road was closed in the previous video.
I think that's that same vehicle from... Hey!
Okay, yet again, we have to stop the story for some of the controversy. So there's a ton of debate online about the CIA and whether they operate outside of the US, because people thought it was really weird that Andrew kept talking about the CIA following him when he's in Canada. That doesn't make any sense to a lot of people. So I got this directly from the FBI's website, the FBI.gov's website, explaining the difference between the FBI and the CIA. The CIA and FBI are both members of the US intelligence community. The CIA, however, has no law enforcement function. Rather, it collects and analyzes information that is vital to the formation of US policy, particularly in areas that impact the security of the nation. The CIA collects information information only regarding foreign countries and their citizens. Unlike the FBI, it is prohibited from collecting information regarding U.S. persons, a term that includes U.S. citizens, resident aliens, legal immigrants, and U.S. corporations, regardless of where they are located. So right from the FBI's website, yes, the CIA is a United States agency. However, they generally operate outside of the US. Like, their entire point is to gather info from other countries and their citizens in order to keep our nation safe. So I don't think Andrew is lying when he says he thinks it's the CIA. If he did the Canada's version of the CIA, which I forget the acronym for, but that actually wouldn't make sense. My understanding is that they would then therefore be checking out other countries to keep Canada safe. But who knows? I just think that that's something that's important to note. And I think a lot of people are going to comment that, like, that makes no sense. His whole story must be fake because the CIA is American, not Canadian. But I think it is plausible. Okay, so his next TikTok, he's radio silent for the rest of April. People are checking his account incessantly for updates. The entire TikTok community and a lot of other parts of the internet are just buzzing and waiting for him to post to find out if he is okay. He doesn't post again until March 6th. 2022, several weeks later. Now, remember how I told you to make note of the fact that Andrew always films himself? He's always in selfie mode when using his phone or whatever device he's using. Well, this next video is right off the bat very concerning because it's very clear that Andrew is not filming himself. He has never not filmed himself until this video. Here is that clip.
I just want to give you an update. I'm not dead. I have not disappeared. I have just been busy with life. I couldn't get around to posting and updating you guys. So now I'm going to give you an official update of what's been going on. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all of the videos that I posted were scripted. They were just fake. They were just strictly for entertainment. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I just needed to give you a quick update.
So obviously from this video, you probably noticed yourself, but Andrew's body language is very suspicious. He has his hands in his pocket. He's kind of like hunched and clenched up. And of course, the most obviously suspicious thing is that he keeps looking off camera as if he is not only reading some sort of script, but looking at somebody who is coaching him to say all of these things. He tells us all the videos are fake, but right as he does so, he is looking off camera nervously. And again, if you recall, Andrew is always a very bubbly person. He's very bouncy, very happy, and very energetic. And all of a sudden, he just seems completely different than that. So of course nobody buys this. Everybody is convinced that the CIA has found him and captured him, and they are forcing him to post this video. He doesn't post again until 10 days later on May 16th. This time he posts an extremely short video.
You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
He basically takes back everything he said. He's acting like he's in a hurry. He's acting like he's about to flee the country or something like that. And he tells us that, no, I was lying. It wasn't fake. I basically can't say much more, but I did not make that video on my own free will. So now we get to May 17th, which is the next day. And this would be Andrew's final update, his final post on TikTok. He found another strange thing that he saw on a mountain in the area. However, please note that this is clearly a different mountain.
What is that? That was not there yesterday.
And that's it. Andrew never posts again on TikTok after May 17th, 2022. Rumors are running wild, of course, and the entire internet population is convinced that he was kidnapped by the CIA, or that they silenced him, or that something bad happened. He just disappears off the face of the planet. Now, here's the part of the video. That's the story. That's the giant story. Here's the part of the video where we have to talk about the fact that this is a hoax. I don't know how else to get on with that. Like, I didn't know how to break it to you guys. Now, the giant saga is most definitely a hoax. That entire thing was a hoax. However, this entire thing in all was not a hoax, because I have reason to believe that Andrew really is gone, as in passed away, still under very weird timing. Okay, first we're going to talk about why the giant thing is a hoax, and then we're going to talk about his death. Some very clever internet sleuths more clever than I, were able to figure out the exact mountain that Andrew was filming at. It was Canoe Mountain in British Columbia. The sign at the beginning of the video, we see just a glimpse of that red sign. That sign is for Cedarside Regional Park. And if you look at that sign on Google Maps, right next to there, you could like see the exact road that he was driving on in the video. And right in that area is Canoe Mountain. Now, people went to Google Maps and looked at Canoe Mountain. They wanted to see some close-up views of it. If you do that, anybody, you can go to Google Maps right now and see this for yourself. If you go there, you're gonna find a tower, what's likely a cell phone tower. There's a little building down there, and then there is a big cell phone tower structure that does, from a distance, probably would look like a giant. It is almost certain that this is what Andrew saw on that first video. I want to give Andrew the benefit of the doubt here. I, honest to God, my heart and soul believes that he really thought it was a giant at first. I think that he took this video with his friend. I think that him and his friend's reactions were genuine. I think his friend was like, it's not a giant. And he was like, yes, it is. That is a person standing on top of that mountain and they're ginormous. But I think his video went viral. I think Andrew realized what it really was, because Andrew, living in the area, would have known that mountain. I think he knew what it really was, and I think when he went back, he saw it in the exact same place, and when it hadn't moved, he realized what it was, but he just kind of went with it. He just kept going with this story. Again, recall from the beginning of this video, we talked about his background. He loves comedy. He is a prankster. He loves pranking people. He pranks everybody. He pranks strangers. He'll prank his friends. His friend and him will like get together and do little skits and bits together to try to prank the audience and stuff. Like, that is his thing. I don't know how this is a surprise to anyone that he had the most successful prank of all time. And of course, he was gonna milk it for everything that it was. This cell phone tower explanation also makes the most sense because it never moves in the video that he shows. It is not walking. Now, when he posts that other video of the giant being gone in that subsequent video, it is the exact same mountain. You could tell because it does look exactly the same. However, it is just that he either drove down the road a little bit more or he drove at an angle and took the video at an angle where you couldn't see the tower. This would be very easy to do. You would just have to kind of drive around to the other side of the mountain. And you could tell it's the same mountain, but you could tell that he's not in the exact same place in a lot of these videos. Okay, so next, all that other stuff that we still need to debunk. That's the main thing, of course, but I'm going to bring up the Y Files. That's another YouTube channel here. They're a lot bigger than me. They have like over 3 million subscribers here on YouTube, and they're the ones that made a really excellent video about this case right when it was coming out about a year ago, and I'm going to be mentioning them. AJ is the host of that show, so if I say the Y Files or AJ, I'm meaning the same thing, and that is going to come up in the rest of the video because they probably made the best video debunking the other little details. Now, I just want to be clear, I don't usually watch other people's videos on the same topic that I'm planning to cover for probably obvious reasons. I guess if you're not a YouTuber, they're not obvious, but when you watch another person's video, if you're going to make that video, sometimes you can be biased. It can like create unintentional bias just because you're kind of watching other people's opinions on it. And if you're going to make a video on it, and then you also just don't want the structure of your video to just kind of accidentally be similar to the structure of theirs or anything. So I just want to be very clear though that like, all the articles about this sucked. There's no articles that actually debunk anything. His comments are turned off, so I can't do what I often do, and that is sleuth through hundreds of comments to see what the other skeptics are saying this is. So this Y-Files video is pretty much all I had to go on because, like I said, people are more clever than I am, and they figured out the more details of this. So that's a long-winded way of just giving credit where credit is due to their channel because they are the ones that figured the rest of this stuff out, not me. So primarily, AJ goes over this mysterious CIA car following Andrew. I will admit, this car looks like some sort of Dodge. It looks very government-like and official, but AJ points out that this car in front of Andrew's house, nobody undercover, no PI or government agency that was trying to watch you would ever in a million years be that conspicuous. They would not just park right in front of your house with their lights on and the car running, and then the second you open the door, they just like, they peel out of there like a bat out of hell. That does not happen. If somebody's following you, and I guarantee if the CIA or the FBI or a government agency like that was following you and watching you, you wouldn't know it. Then that same car in the previous video stopping him on this closed road. This is also a very suspicious stop. AJ in the Y-Files points out that no government official would be that casual with you. If they were stopping you, if you were approaching them when the road was clearly closed and you were approaching them anyway, government agencies, police officers and stuff, and it was likely a police officer, not the CIA, but probably a police officer who were assigned to go there, if this was true, would have established authority very quickly over you, would have been very official sounding, like they're trained specifically to keep control over situations, and they wouldn't just say nervously like, hey man, yeah, get out of here. Like, yeah, no, you got to turn around. Sorry, nope. Hey man, get out of here. Like, that is very weird language for a police officer.
It's closed. Turn around.
Really?
Yeah, man, just turn around, please.
And then my personal take on this particular video, while I agree with AJ, I also have to say my particular opinion is I don't understand why Andrew put his phone down. Why did he not film the officer? In most places in the US, I think everywhere in the US, but I know at least most places, and I looked it up, Canada is the same way. You have a constitutional right to film police officers as long as they are on duty. Now, I do understand the argument that would be weird to film somebody when you weren't doing anything wrong, you weren't being stopped, you weren't being arrested, you weren't trying to like protect yourself in any way. I can't understand why it would be way more awkward to just pull out your camera and start filming this police officer. But I point out, Andrew is not a shy guy. He's willing to prank random strangers, and he is very out there. I have a feeling that if this was an actual police officer, he would not have an issue filming them. Because if this was real and he really, really wanted to prove that to everybody, I think he definitely would have had no qualms about filming the officer. This, in conclusion, is most definitely just one of Andrew's buddies helping him out. They have a car. They happen to have a Dodge car that looks very much like a government car, or they rented a car that looks like this, and this is most definitely his friend, and these scenarios are set up. Then we have to note the last couple things that the Y-Files pointed out about his story that doesn't make any sense. First of all, the peak on his last video, that thing that he saw, AJ figured out that that's the Jasper Skytram. The Jasper Skytram is an aerial tramway tourist attraction, and it does operate right in that area. And as we noted, that was a different mountain. It wasn't the same Canoe Mountain that the original Giant was on. And then the Y-Files / AJ also believed that those helicopters were also not suspicious whatsoever. They were doing something called heli-logging, which is when they extract giant branches and other trees and stuff from areas where it's very difficult to access, which again, that all makes perfect sense. And then the video, of course, of him not filming himself, but somebody else clearly filming him, and him being coached and forced to say these things, and he's looking way off camera. I mean, I don't think I really need to go over that one. That too much. That's pretty obvious, right? He's acting. This is a very common tactic in ARGs and stuff like that. I find this in almost every ARG story where somebody is being filmed and it seems like a normal video, but then they glance off camera very quickly, or they do other kind of very suspicious stuff where they're trying to communicate to the audience that they're not okay and that what they're saying is not true. It's a very, very common trope, I would say. And so I think that is what he's doing. I think he's just continuing with this story. So then lastly, the biggest thing for me personally for why this is a hoax is because why would his TikTok account still be up and active if this was real? If the government was going as far to silence him, perhaps kidnap him, but if not kidnap him, at least force him to make that retraction video, why wouldn't they just go to TikTok and take his account, or at least just all the giant videos down? If they're following Andrew in real life, surely they're following every single thing he posts on TikTok. And then that frantic video where he, you know, really quick, his almost last video where he's like, no guys, I wasn't lying, this is all real. They would have been monitoring that. They would have seen him post that. And yes, he does disappear right after that, but they would have taken the videos down too. That just makes no sense. If the CIA did not want these videos out there, they would have deleted them a very long time ago. Okay, and then as I said, the most serious part of this video, this whole story takes an extremely dark twist. Fast forward to July 1st, 2022, about 6 weeks after he posted his last TikTok. An obituary for Andrew pops up online. The Campbell River Mirror posts an obituary stating that Andrew has passed away in Campbell River, British Columbia. The rumor is that he lost his battle with depression. Just a side note, I know this obituary says the day's posted date was June 1st, 2022, and that he passed away on July 1st. That obviously makes no sense. This has been bugging me for a long time. I looked at other random obituaries on this website and all the dates matched. Like if John Doe passed away on January 11th, 2024, that's the date on his obituary as well, his death date. I can't figure this out. I don't know why it says June 1st there. The only thing I can imagine is that this was some sort of typo on the editor's part because Andrew was still posting on his social media in June. His last Facebook post, in fact, was on June 25th, less than a week before he passed away. And on the Y-Files video, when they show his obituary, it is the same one from the same website. It does match. It does say July and July. So I don't know exactly what happened there. I am assuming somebody made some sort of error or some sort of glitch. Okay, so in AJ's video, he didn't actually conclude whether or not Andrew died or not. It seems actually that AJ, again, from the vibe I got, that he believes that it's possible that Andrew faked his death. And a lot of people think he faked his death, either to keep this entire hoax going, or he faked his death to get away from the government. The primary reason to doubt from the Y-Files video was that they found out that the obituary was posted on a website that was totally public. So you don't need proof of death and anybody can post an obituary of anyone on that website. And then AJ also looked at the source code of that page in his video and figured out that it was posted really early in the morning, which is also, he thought was just kind of odd because if he passed away, he must have passed away then like right after midnight on July 1st or something like that, if this is true, because it just seemed kind of odd that somebody would post an obituary so soon after he had passed away, if it was like 7 in the morning when the obituary was posted. AJ then goes on to say that he found Andrew's sister, who posts on social media every single day, but never posted about Andrew. Just all those kind of things that he thought was really odd. Now, I don't want to give AJ any flack for this. I'm talking about him like I know him. I don't know him. It's just his video that I'm responding to. But I think, to be fair, AJ also made this a year ago, right when all this happened. Like, it was pretty fresh after all this happened. So for all he knew, Andrew was going to return and expose that he had faked his death very soon. But now that it's been more time, I have very strong reason to believe that Andrew is really gone, that Andrew really did pass away. Now, the obituary timing, I don't think that's really weird. They didn't really write anything up officially about his death. They just wrote a big list of his family members on it. So I don't really think that would have taken that much time, and maybe they felt like that was the best way to get the info out to the rest of the family members. They didn't write this big proofread paragraph about his life and his loved ones and everything like that, which is, you know, their prerogative. And so I don't think it would have taken that long. And say he had passed away at, you know, midnight 30 or maybe even 2 a.m. and people figured all this out, it is possible that they wrote it up and wanted to post it as quickly as possible to make sure that there was proof and to let his family members know. And then the sister thing is really interesting. I did look up one of the sisters, which I believe I found the right sister because she lives not in the same area, but somewhere in Alberta. And I don't know which sister AJ looked up. It could be that maybe we found different alleged sisters of hers. But if I am looking at the same person and this person is in fact the right sister, the right Andrew's sister, does that make sense? Like, if I found the right one, like, it's not weird that she didn't post about his death. And I'll tell you why, because on Instagram, she does in fact post quite a bit. She posts a lot, but it's her business Instagram. She's a real estate agent and she posts a ton on Instagram, but it's all real estate listings, pictures of keys, a lot of real estate memes, and all about her business. And she probably just doesn't post any personal stuff on there because she wants her clients to not feel involved in her personal life whatsoever. So that is not strange to me whatsoever. So that's where I disagree with AJ on that stuff. Let's talk about why I really do think he's gone. Andrew has not posted on any of his social media since his passing. Like I said, the last post I could find was June 25th on his Facebook account, which now says Remembering Andrew. It has seemed to turn into a memorial page, but he has not posted since. This has now been 1.5 years since this happened, and he has never showed up once. He has a Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. He has all the social media, and he has not posted anywhere. So remember when I told you to remember about his YouTube? I told you about his YouTube and how Andrew was an aspiring musician. That seemed to be his ultimate dream. I might be wrong on that, but he seemed to put quite a bit of effort into writing songs, singing songs, and making those music videos. It feels very much like that would have been his dream. To me, if you get 21 million views on a video on TikTok, your following explodes to 500,000. All of your videos are getting millions of views after that. You've gotten so many eyes on you. Why, then, would you fake your death and never return to tell people that it was fake? Because if you were an aspiring musician, he and his partner were on social media a lot. They clearly were okay with people knowing about their lives. They wanted fame. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. Like, I get it. A lot of people want that. Hello, I have a YouTube channel. People want to get views on social media. Why, when this is like ultimately what he would preferably want to do is be pretty famous on social media, why would he just fake his own death and never return? To me, that makes absolutely no sense. He would have come back by now to say, hey guys, I'm not dead, but now I have millions of people. Why? But you wouldn't wait that long because by then it's all died down and not as many people would be interested. He would have waited a couple months max. So that's the primary reason why I personally think that he really did pass away. But there is more. Like I said, it is fairly easy to find his partner's all of her social media. She's not a very private person, we will say. And it's easy to find his Facebook, which is now a memorial page. And she is, of course, on Facebook as well. She has a public Facebook account, and she did post several posts about Andrew passing away. She linked to his obituary. She posted a picture of them together, stuff like that. And there are dozens of people commenting and offering their condolences to her. There are hundreds of people liking and hearting and, you know, hugging reaction to those posts. If this was a fake death and all of those people were in on it, all of those people were in on it. Hundreds of people who then found out that it was fake and nobody said anything. No. If that were the case, that would be absolutely unhinged. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think that she would not have posted that on social media with hundreds of people reaching out to her to give condolences. She also posted a couple grieving videos on TikTok, which again, for us, for our generation, that is not a strange thing to do. She seems completely devastated in one of these videos. Like, if this whole thing is fake and they're all in on it, that would be insanity. That would make less sense than giants being real. And then go to the Reddit posts. There's a Reddit post called "What Do You Think Actually Happened to Andrew Dawson?" There's a user on there named Powerful Criticism 18. It's obviously a very young guy, but he claims to be Andrew's nephew. He claims to be that Andrew was his uncle. And sure enough, if you go to this person's profile, and he also says in his comments what his full name is, his full name is listed on Andrew's obituary. Like, his full name is listed on Andrew's obituary. So it is clearly an actual family member. And he also advertises his TikTok on his Reddit account. And if you go to his TikTok, there are videos of him and Andrew together. So I am pretty sure this is who he says he is. And he claims, and has commented on several different posts on Reddit, that it is true. Andrew passed away. He lost his battle with depression. And he says that, no, Andrew was a big prankster. All of those giant videos were fake. I also see somebody with the same username as this person. You know, he's on Facebook and YouTube leaving similar comments, leaving comments on his videos and memorial posts saying like, "Hey, I miss you, Uncle Andy," and stuff like that. Again, I just don't, I don't think that so many people would be in on it. That would be cruel at this point. I think what happened here was that a huge internet hoax took place, but the timing of Andrew's real death was very unfortunate because Andrew passed away very close to the time that this whole CIA conspiracy theory giants thing happened. I think that made a lot of people very confused on whether he really passed away, if he faked his death to protect himself, if he faked his death to keep the hoax going and keep convincing people, all that kind of stuff. I think there's so many conspiracy theories around this whole thing that, to be fair, Andrew created all these conspiracy theories to begin with, and then him passing away so soon after this whole giant saga ended was just very bad timing, and it made the whole thing very messy. I think this internet mystery is so interesting because it turned out to be partially fake, but partially real. Like, he really did, at least in my opinion, based on everything I know, he did really pass away. And it did really happen around the time that everybody thought he was being kidnapped by the CIA. You're still gonna see people all over TikTok and other social media claiming that this was all real and that he disappeared because his digging caught up with him. The truth, though, is far more tragic. Okay, guys, that is the story of Andrew Dawson and the Giants. Please like the video just to support the channel. Please also let me know your thoughts down below. I'd be really curious to know your thoughts and opinions. Don't forget our sponsor, Aura, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much to all of our patrons on the screen right now. Our top tiers are Colin Holmes, The Deck of Cards, Michelle Valdovinos, Little Kittle Cat, Mitchell Schaefer-Meyer, Momo Neon, Marita144, Elderly Hipster, Rebecca Jackson, Quinn Amon, Cobblecon Anime and Gaming Convention, Sarah the Crazy Fish Lady, Maxie, Ellison Luna, Tiny Mighty Bookworm, A Bunny Apparently, Leon Vanek, I Am in Your Walls, Habromania, Cyberdog Investigations LLC, Vicky Cat, Amy B, Take Urch, Dead Without the E, Chara, MH Dave, Ami, Lindsay R, It's Tara, obviously, Shayna R, El Magnificoco, Laura Winter, Lilith, Dana, Ashes, Gosh Zilla, Geo, Arya Anomaly, Ghosty Girl, Mel Miller, Jessica Cook, Mark Fagundes, Mike. And our newest, Nyanki and Stinky Pete.